No. Jigsaw did that one. Sorry, I got nothing.
Had you ever considered that all this is your fault? Your presence creates these animals.
Confirmation that prisoner 40 is in the courthouse.
Heads and tails, kitty cat.
Shame to get blood all over my nice new outfit.
This place is dangerous. I like it.
Hey everybody, this is Jigsaw for webassembly.com doing my finally of Batman Arkham City. Now, I'm going to get this right out of the way. I am a huge Batman fan. I loved Batman Arkham Asylum, and honestly, I found it very hard to follow up on a game as great as that. I mean, Arkham Asylum was one of the best games I've ever played. I loved it. The voice acting, everything. The story was great in that game. And a few gameplay mechanics that were problematic, such as the boss fights, and some of the hit detections were still a little bit off. But overall, I really did enjoy it. And once the announcement of Arkham City came out, I was very excited. Now, once I first delved into Arkham City, I was a little bit nervous that the game would not be able to hold up to its predecessor, but sadly, I was quite mistaken. It succeeded in passing its predecessor, what I thought almost impossible. Now, I'm going to set the stage for you right now for Arkham City. It stars an unknown villain to most people unless you're in the Batman franchise, Hugo Strange. Now, a little background on Hugo Strange. He's a psychiatrist, professor, who went crazy, discovered Batman's second dual personality, which is Bruce Wayne, and this has been delved in comics and even in the animated series in the 90s. So he is somewhat of a prominent character, even though he's lesser unknown as the Joker and Two-Face and Penguin and all that. Those characters are still in the game, I assure you not, and all very well brought together in their own different styles. But he's created Arkham City, which is essentially a giant city that encompasses part of Gotham. And in the city, it houses both the super criminals and the lower level thugs and from Blackgate and from Arkham Asylum. So they're pretty much all brought inside the city. Think if you've read the comics No Man's Land, Batman's No Man's Land. It's pretty much they're left to their own devices, monitored by this hired mercenary group called Tiger Security. And Batman knows there's a bigger scheme from all this. He knows that there's going to be problems with all these super criminals, so he goes in to investigate. If you read the comics, the Arkham City, Arkham Asylum comics, you understand more of the story. But diving in, it does give you a rich idea of what the story is. Either way, you can figure it out on its own. It doesn't leave like blank holes in it like a lot of games like this would. Now, some of the biggest changes you can find is in the gameplay mechanics in this game. Obviously, it's not Arkham Asylum. You weren't confined to little corridors anymore. You're in a big, sprawling city that's quite big. It's like, at least, I believe they said 3 times the size of Arkham Asylum. Probably more. Basically, you can now glide, which is the biggest mechanic in this game that's been added, besides the fact that you can now triple and double counters, and yes, or even environmental counters. So you have a lot of more flourish in your move. You're not seeing the same moves in Arkham Asylum that you did over and over. You see a lot of cool finishes, though I would question that some of these would actually end up killing them in the long run. But, you know, he's Batman, I'm sure he knows what he's doing. The gliding mechanics are smooth. They take a little bit to get used to. When you add the grapple booster, which launches you in the air, it becomes a lot easier to traverse the city, diving in and out, sweeping in and just picking people up in the night. Makes you feel like a badass. He's got all new gadgets, plus his old ones. You have to search for them. Not like Metroid where you lose all your shit in the beginning. You have the gadgets you had in Arkham Asylum in the beginning, right off the bat. You can use the explosive gel, you can use the line launcher, you can use all that fun stuff in the beginning of the game. Plus new ones such as a shotgun, you get freeze bombs, which freeze people in their place. It's really cool. Some of the new mechanics really add kind of a difficulty and allow you to figure out what to use the weapons for and when not to use the weapons, and you can approach different attacks by different devices. It's really cool. They also added a New Game Plus mode, which for anybody's played games with New Game Plus, basically what it is, you keep all your devices, you keep everything you had, all your stats, everything, and it becomes to do a harder game, which is kind of cool. There's no more counter, which I'm still going through on New Game Plus because it's hard as hell. I'm near the very end. I'm not going to spoil any of it. I'm on the last third of it, not the very end. It's a very harder game mode, but it's really fun and really rewarding. And now, if you remember the Riddler, there's 400 Riddler trophies and riddles. That's right, 400. You thought the amount they gave you in Arkham Asylum was bad? This is ridiculous. I've had so much fun. Some of these have actually challenged me, which is kind of surprising. I wouldn't find most of the riddles in Arkham Asylum took me like 4 seconds to figure out, maybe one re-over, but some of the ones are really challenging and really entertaining to do. The Riddler has more of a physical presence, which I thought was great. The riddles are very challenging, and his final masterpiece, like Jigsaw style riddles, are great. They're really cool to figure out. He's got more in his physical area later into the review in my second part, but overall the gameplay has been very notched up. The stealth mechanics are much better. You're not just stuck to gargoyles anymore. There aren't just random ass gargoyles everywhere in the world, which apparently Arkham Asylum really loves gargoyles, because there are gargoyles everywhere in that. But in this game you can pretty much grapple on anything, view the area from above. Still the same drop down stealth mechanics you had before, some new devices, smoke bombs to stop people from shooting at you. It's really cool. You can punch through certain walls and grab people. You really do feel more like a Batman and more of a badass in this one, and I really did enjoy it. But if you want the rest of my review, make sure to follow up on the second part of this review. That'll be covering sound, characters, everything in between in this game, everything that also makes this game awesome. Make sure to check out webacinema.com for your movie, podcasting, and gaming needs. I'm Jigsaw. Go visit Webacinema. I am signing off.
Do not bring that trash up in here, motherfucker. This is my house.